Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. My name is Mathew. I'm your host, as usual. And with me in the studio, it's a packed house. I have Ahmed, Mr. Chelsea fan, in the zone. I have Kevin, the Arsenal man from North London, biggest club in London. And then we do have Mr. Manzi Kajina, the pride of Manchester, from Old Trafford, joining us as well. And we're going to have a fantastic show recapping the activity from the weekend as well as transfer gossip. And we'll get into it right after this.
Oh, he's done it! Cometh the man! And it's that one, Bellingham! It's 8 goals in his last 8 Premier League starts at Emirates Stadium. Salah! Wow! What a strike by Mohamed Salah!
Ball down the channel, and it's played into Fernandes in the penalty area.
Aguero looking for the 1-2 Balotelli. He's won the title.
Clever though, here's Harry Kane. Kane goes for what a goal from in business here. Lukaku scores on second debut. It's only taken 14 minutes.
Brilliant. Welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome again to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. If it's your first time or if you're a regular viewer, feel free, to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button as well as the notification bell to get some regular updates from our show. And fantastic action this weekend. Of course, the biggest game of the weekend was postponed. I'm sure Ahmed and Manzi will agree with me. The North London derby being postponed, and even you, Ahmed, I could see you're quite disappointed about that. But I'm sure the activity will come back. The excitement will come back when that game is rescheduled. But we do have a lot of action still to follow. So, Ahmed, welcome to the show. You can say hi to the viewers.
Yes, thank you, Mathew. Happy to be here. Happy to throw some banter. You already talked about the biggest game.
Yes.
It's the top 2 at that time. So thank you.
Well done. Your position is fluctuating as Chelsea fans these days, but it's understandable. It's a Lukaku syndrome, But anyway, Mr. Kevin Price, welcome to the show. Your first time as well on the show. You can say what's up.
Thank you so much, Mathew. Good to be here. Let's dissect this thing and have some banter along the way.
Brilliant. And the resident Manchester United fan, Mr. Manzi Kajina, Mr. Ole. I don't know what his thoughts are about Ralph Rangnick, but we will find out soon enough. Manzi, say what's up to your people.
Yes, good evening. Thanks, Mathew, for having me. Glad to be back.
Fantastic. Well, we'll kick off the action with the review of the games from the weekend. Obviously, focusing on the traditional top 6, kicking off with, I did mention the biggest game was postponed. So the second biggest game of the weekend, which was Manchester City versus Chelsea. I can see some smiles in the studio. But fantastic activity there, tight game. Thomas Tuchel renewing his rivalry with Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola, after having been, beaten a couple of times by Chelsea last season, including a Champions League final, which is the one trophy he's actually craving a lot more than the others. Getting the better of Thomas Tuchel and his Chelsea team this time around. Man City running out 1-0 winners, and a screamer from the king, Kevin De Bruyne there. Ahmed, what were your thoughts on that game? Was it a deserved loss by your Chelsea boys or deserved win by the Manchester City team, or was your team just not turn up? What were your thoughts on the game?
Thank you, Mathew. We deserve to lose the game. I know Thomas Tuchel got over Guardiola in the big one last season in the Champions League, and he also got one over Guardiola in the FA Cup semi-final last season. So the big ones really that mattered. Thomas Tuchel was getting the wins over Guardiola. This game really mattered to Chelsea. To have any chance of winning the title, to have any chance of putting some pressure on Manchester City, this was the game. It was the big one for Chelsea, and unfortunately, on the day, Chelsea disappointed. I think Chelsea played very negatively. The fact that Lukaku did not help in terms of linking up the attacking play. He's expected to at least hold up the ball and pass it accurately to maybe the likes of Ziyech and Pulisic. But I think that partnership wasn't there on the day. Lukaku did not even have any touches in the opposition box. Chelsea had only one shot on goal, on target. I think Ederson could have probably had a picnic at his goal and still not conceded. That it was that disappointing on the day for Chelsea. As a Chelsea fan, I really wanted Chelsea to win. Of course, Liverpool eventually overtook us. They played later on. But it was really disappointing. Our old boy KDB, who always comes up against us and for some reason he always scores against us. I've watched a number of games where KDB scores against Chelsea, so it had to be KDB to decide the game. Chelsea played negatively. We deserved to lose. 1-0 may have even been a flattering scoreline for Chelsea. To be honest, very disappointed.
Let me pull in Kevin at this point. Kevin, do you agree with that assessment, or do you feel Chelsea have thrown the title away after showing some great promise in the early stages of the season?
I think Chelsea is out of the race now. Even Liverpool, which overtook Chelsea, to me stands about maybe 30% chance. This is City's league now to lose. They're clearly favorites. And what is amazing is that they have had so many injuries. For example, I don't want to call injuries, but then maybe he has rotated the team a lot. KDB, who scored this goal, has hardly featured this season, and yet is their best player. Chelsea, which showed a lot of promise in the beginning, signed well, had enough depth, kicked off, tremendously, but somehow I think they've lost the title. I don't see how they get back in this. Only Liverpool can chase. That's a big if also. I think City is way miles ahead of the rest of the pack currently.
Manzi, we all expected your old boy over there, Romelu Lukaku, to get Chelsea firing. I mean, 90 million pounds that was paid for him, significant amount, just 10 million pounds short of what Man City paid for Jack Grealish, who, they're using more or less sparingly, who hasn't had that much of an impact. Do you feel that we are yet to see the best of Romelu Lukaku, especially considering the issues he just had in the press a couple of weeks ago? Or do you feel, as a Man United fan who utilized him, you feel that Old Trafford squeezed the juices out of him and his true age is now showing
Now, Mathew, I think I was here, let's say like many weeks back when the transfer episode we did, when I think it was Ali who was so excited about Lukaku's return to Premier League. I had zero confidence in the guy, zero confidence. First of all, he was in United and he was fake at United. And then we sold him. He went and shined at Inter. I don't know what he did. But then Chelsea bought him back to the Premier League where he had failed. Like, the reason he left is because he couldn't handle. The football here is very different. I think the defenders are better. The football is fast. It's quick. He really can't handle. He won't be a 20 goal scoring striker. He'll score like 10 by the end of the season. I think the best he can have is like 15 goals. So I'm not shocked. For me, this is business as usual. But speaking about the match, Pepe, I don't know. I've just seen the awards of FIFA, Manager of the Year. It has been given to Tuchel, of course, because of Premier League and Champions League. But Pep, as far as managers go, he is in a league of his own. Like, he is alone. At the beginning of the season, of course, we said Chelsea were favorites. I was, they looked good, they looked strong, but I don't know what has happened, man. They have capitulated, they have started faltering, and Pep consistently, quietly in the background, came creeping up, and it's wins like this, these 1-0 wins where you know that he's going to win the league. Because even games where he's not very convincing, but he just nicks, just take a chance, they take it and they score, then it's 1-0.
Yeah.
So it's 5 wins from 5 games, whereas for Chelsea it's like, I think 1 win in 5. So it's sad, but Pep has taken it again. So, and for the next like 2 seasons, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a damning indictment from
2 seasons.
the neighbors. You practically given them the title for the next 2 seasons. Speaking of fake people and fake team, or rather fake performances, not fake team.
Wait,
I think
Mathew.
you can see why is upset right there. But Manzi, while we're still with you, what's your assessment of the game at away at Aston Villa? Steven Gerrard getting one over you with a solid performance there from his Aston Villa boys. What went wrong, Manzi, in this game?
Yeah. The show is called Top 6 Fan TV, and I remember at the beginning of the season we were making fun of Arsenal. I was like, "Are you sure Arsenal is in top 6?" But I don't know. Maybe you need to call the show Top 8 to make space for United, because we're not in the top 6 anymore. Like we are 7th, and I think we're being kicked off the show. You need to look for other guys to take up. You guys, United is so bad. United is hi man. I watched that game. And even after scoring 2 goals, I was not sure that we could win. Like, I was sure that they could come back, equalize, and beat us. And for a long time, I've always said our problem is the players. And I think I'm going to be vindicated, because you have Mourinho. They say the problem is the manager. You change, get Ole. Ole is the problem. Change, get Ralph. It can't always be the manager. These players they're not serious. If you have a 2-goal lead, defend with defend with everything. Like, put your life on the line. But guys are so casual. If you see the goals, I saw who's their new purchase? Aston Villa.
Coutinho.
Coutinho came onto the pitch when it was 2-0. And I looked at his face and I thought to myself, what can he do to encourage his teammates? What can he do to change the fortunes of Aston Villa? And lo and behold, the guy scores. I'm like, everyone
Plus an
should have
assist.
He scored.
Yeah.
Plus an assist.
Like, all the players should have marked him. I think, yeah. So it's frustrating that first of all, our first goal was it was the goalkeeper made an error, so we can't say it was a goal. The first thing was a shot. The keeper made an error, and it came from a set piece. Then we scored. Okay. Second goal was a bit better. It was Fernandez goal. Well and good. Now 2-0 up to like the 75th minute, and then you concede. So it was a loss in my books. It was a loss. Yeah.
In your words, fake football,
it's too fake. United, man.
Ahmed,
And guys
what was
told me
your
that
assessment of
once
that? Hey,
Ole goes, United
yes,
will,
man.
United will become
Capitulate,
better. We'll
yeah.
have Ralph Gengen press. It's Gengen depressing. That's
You couldn't have said it better. Ahmed, I'll pull you in. What's your assessment of
God.
Man United's performance and the issues over there before we bring Kevin in?
Yes, Mathew. Man United was totally dominated.
Yeah.
I watched the game, and United got lucky, I think, with the goals. I think both goals were just lucky goals. Of course, the first one with Emiliano's blunder, and then the second one, I think, one of the Aston Villa midfielders, I think he's called Sanson. I think he was eventually pulled off immediately. Lost the ball in midfield, and one or the other, it got to Bruno Fernandes, and he tucked it home. But United was manning the barricades. They were under the coach at 0-0, at 1-0, and at 2-0. They were always defending for their lives. They were just hanging in there. And personally, I watched that game, and I also had the belief that United may not win the game, even at 2-0. I always watch United games, and they get lucky here and there. United is a very lucky team. They can play badly, and then and then they find Bruno Fernandes scrapping some random goal. But this game, it was obvious when Aston Villa came back. It was just something that was writing on the wall. It was eventually going to happen, and if they had added an extra 5 minutes, I think United was going to lose that game.
Yeah.
United was going to lose that game.
Very interesting. Kevin, do you agree with that? Yes, Ahmed.
Yes, I was just saying. United fans were excited about Varane coming in. I see. I don't see any difference between Varane and Maguire. United fans don't like Maguire generally. I don't know if
The fridge they call him.
likes
No,
Maguire.
we don't not. It's not that we don't like him. It's just that Maguire, he can't play football. He's not a footballer. Maguire should be playing like
He doesn't look like a footballer.
volleyball.
Maguire is a good man.
He can't defend.
Oh, this is an England
Varane is not
stalwart.
good either. Varane is not good either. You could see
Varane
from
has
the
also
game,
been exposed.
Varane
They're a
struggles.
bit-
He struggles a bit. Even the second goal, I think it was Coutinho. Varane could have read that pass. I think the pass came from this exciting kid. What was his name? Ramsey.
Jacob
He
Ramsey.
was on
Yeah,
fire
Jacob
that,
Ramsey.
Jacob Ramsey. He was on fire in that game, and Varane couldn't see Coutinho behind him. When the pass came through, he couldn't even stretch to block the pass. So United deserved to lose that game. In fact, a draw. United was just lucky to draw the game.
Interesting. Kevin, where does United go from here? I mean, Ralph Rangnick has 4 months to go. He's as you've heard from a very frustrated Manzi, he's playing depressing football as opposed to gegenpressing football. But us as opposing fans expected this. Personally, I did not buy into the hype. The godfather of gegenpress, mentor of Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel, and hence he is going to take the league by storm. I didn't agree with that narrative, and Manzi, as you can see, I am firmly still Ole in.
Ole in, man. You are Ole in gay. You're the only one.
My man. Anyway, Kevin, where does Man United go from here? How do they fix it? And how high can they finish this season, realistically?
First of all, before even I discuss United, I want to first give credit to Villa. Since TVG came, the guy has signed well. Luca Digne looked like he's been playing there for 2 seasons. Coutinho fitted right in. Jacob Ramsey is a talent for the future. I see this guy playing for... Is he English? I see him playing for England.
He's English, yeah.
Very soon, in the same mode like this guy. They've just had a couple of bad... They're a decent team who should finish in the top 10. Over to United. United is doing so badly at the moment. And they'll expose you because Varane, who I used to rate, by the way, when I was at Madrid, I'm beginning to think this guy looked good because of Ramos, because some of the way he was getting exposed and the position defending was really out of place. Maguire, we all know, I believe Maguire is a complete shadow of what he was when he was playing at Hull City and Leicester City. There seems to be an ego problem in the dressing room. I don't know if there's a clash there. Some of the players don't seem to be at par. Then there are those guys who are not playing. There seems to be a camp of players who are frustrated, who are not getting game time. But and the big, you have people like Jesse Lingard. You have Martial, who we don't know if refused to travel apparently. So there's a lot of caveat in there. I just do not see United challenging for top 4, unfortunately, which I thought they were in, but as the season goes, I think they are going to be fighting for Europa places. Best case scenario, United will finish, in my view, 6th, because this top 4 thing, I believe, is between Spurs, West Ham, and Arsenal right now. I don't know if United, if they continue playing like this, they go to Brentford next. And Brentford has a style of play. They have this long ball approach where they then fight for the second balls. If Varane and Maguire are defending like that, I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't see them fight. I don't see them getting that 4th spot, unfortunately, above the other 4 competitors that they are competing with.
Well, I definitely agree with that assessment, and of course, all United fans missed Cristiano Ronaldo. That game, they're usually waiting for the Siu celebration. Yeah, Siu Manzi. Yeah, what's that? Is that the Siu celebration after
Sweet.
penalties, right? Hey, sweet
But
after
he'll play. I
penalties.
think he'll
But
play. He'll play on
yeah,
Wednesday. So
hopefully you guys will get back on track when he comes back on board. Mzee Wakazi, as some people like to call him. Moving on swiftly to the Cop, otherwise known as Liverpool, who managed to dispatch of Brentford that Kevin, so fittingly put some respect to. This follows, I think, a 3-3 draw in the first leg. Was it a 3-3 all draw at Brentford's stadium? In the first leg. So that was shocked Liverpool, and this time they came quite prepared. Goals coming in from Fabinho, Arsenal old boy Oxlade Chamberlain, and Takumi Minamino finally scoring a tap in there to seal the points for Liverpool, and that win moves them into second place. So Manchester City first, Liverpool now in second place with Chelsea in third. And we will definitely continue to see, especially the oscillations between second and third place between Chelsea and Liverpool. Manzi, I don't see Liverpool showing the cracks that everyone expected them to show during this period when Salah as well as Mane were away from, especially them, away from, obviously Navigator is away as well, but those two especially being at AFCON. They still seem to be quite robust, especially in the English Premier League. Of course, they tried to pull a fast one on Arsenal by getting the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final postponed, which Arsenal promptly borrowed a leaf from and duly utilized that strategy to get the Spurs game postponed this weekend. But what do you see Liverpool giving? Being able to accept Manchester United. Being able to accept Manchester City
Manchester City.
from the top of the table, Manzi.
I didn't watch the Brentford game. I also missed the Arsenal game, but failing to beat 10-man Arsenal, I think that already shows that there are cracks in the club. Liverpool was good or is good, but it depends on key players a lot, such that when they are out, like now in AFCON, Salah and Mane, they will struggle. Brentford is I don't want to say it's a weak side, but Brentford can't be compared to, for example, Arsenal, or I don't know what their next fixture is, but you really see that the 10-man Arsenal, I don't know how they failed to score even just one goal. And if you remember the last season, when Van Dijk was injured, the whole team fell apart. So there are those key players such that should they get injured, should they go for AFCON, the team starts to struggle. Thankfully, AFCON is only, 3 weeks left. It will end in early Feb. But should Salah get injured, oh money, I tell you now, AFCON is, those guys are playing WWE. I don't know if it's football, but those guys are in wrestling. Should those two guys get injured, that's the end of Liverpool. They can't, they really can't play without them and win many games. They'll win a few games here and there through poor defense and a few mistakes from their opponents, but yeah, Mo Salah is very key to the success of that club. And Van Dijk and TAA. If TAA gets injured, where will the assist come from? Yeah, so like
Robertson is actually providing some great assists as well.
Yeah, Pep can play with the second 11, he can play with the third 11. You can't even know Pep's first 11, and he will still win games. And that's, I think, the beauty with Pep's team. But Liverpool, they'll struggle if key players continue to miss or get injured. So
I'm sure fantasy. Thanks, Manzi. I'm sure fantasy Premier League players will not agree with you on the beauty of Manchester City's squad. You never know who is playing, and whoever you put in does not play. But Ahmed, considering you guys are the closest to Liverpool on the table, do you feel that they have the momentum to finish above Chelsea this season, or do you think that it's just a couple of games and they will be faltering? Because next, obviously, this Thursday they do have the return leg of the Carabao Cup at the Emirates. To Arsenal, that's going to be a tricky game. But in the Premier League, they do have an away visit to Crystal Palace, who are also a tricky side. Before welcoming Cardiff City to Anfield for the FA Cup, and then after that, on 10 February, they welcome Brendan Rodgers Leicester City to Anfield as well. So some tricky games in there. Some tricky games before playing Burnley three days later away as well. So some tricky games. You would say that is the point. I think 13th Feb. By that time, they should be able to have the AFCON contingent back in time for the Champions League round of 16 tie against Inter Milan. But do you feel that they will start to drop momentum and Chelsea can actually regain the second place?
Okay. Mathew, first and foremost, I think Man City has already taken the league title. Personally, I feel Man City is far ahead. Liverpool, I think it will be a tussle between Liverpool and Chelsea for second place. Like Manzi said, Liverpool really depends on specific players. Salah and Mane out, of course, at AFCON. And I watched the game. I watched the Liverpool-Brentford game, and that 3-0 scoreline is actually flattering. If you watch the game, you would see that all the 3 goals were more or less gifts. I think the first goal was Fabinho. It was a corner. It went all the way through. Brentford has tall defenders, but how a corner goes through all the way to the back post and Fabinho gets a free header, I don't know how that happened. The second goal, I think again, Pinnock ducks, and then Oxlade heads in free. The third goal, they tried to play out from the back. I think one of their midfielders gets caught in possession in the 6-yard box, and then Fabinho and Minamino play 1-2.
Minamino, yes,
into an empty net. 3 goals. I think Liverpool is going to struggle. They're going to struggle without Salah and Mane, and without those guys, if they get injured, I think Liverpool will continue to drop points.
Brilliant.
I'm also expecting Liverpool actually not to beat Arsenal. I hate Arsenal more than Liverpool in the I think it's still called Capital One Cup now, not Carabao. I expect Liverpool to lose that game, and of course we get one of our London rivals. I know we are the best team in London, the pride of London. We are the ones that have taken the European trophies, the Champions League in London twice. So I think we'll put that marker down as we wait for Arsenal to meet us at Wembley in the Capital One Cup.
All flukes. All flukes. We shall wait for that. Let me pull Kevin in to react to that, specifically that game towards the end of this week. Arsenal welcoming Liverpool to the Emirates in the EFL Cup, English Football League, Capital One, Carabao Cup. This thing changes like the weather in terms of names, but I don't know. Hopefully it can get the winner into the Champions League, because it looks like whoever wins it will need it, including Chelsea. By the Chelsea, you're just 6 points behind third place, and I think there's a game in hand there. So don't get too comfortable looking at third place being secured.
Yes, Mathew. I actually looked at the table.
Quite interesting.
I saw Liverpool is 2 points ahead of us with the game in hand. I think they can widen that gap, but they will struggle, and we'll catch up with them. I'm not worried about Arsenal. No.
Okay.
Arsenal is like West Ham to me.
We will have you back on the show at the season's end to give your contribution and eat humble pie. Kevin, what do you think is going to happen in the EFL semi-final return leg? Liverpool versus Arsenal.
It's hard because you sort of come from a biased point of I'm an Arsenal fan, so obviously I want Arsenal to win. But I was shocked personally when we went down to 10 men. Shaka doing Shaka things as usual. I knew we were done for 5-0, 4-0. That's the story I was expecting. But Liverpool just failed to score. And I think the Arsenal squad is going to be strong. Some players are coming back. I've been reading online. Some of the guys who are absent are coming back. So I genuinely believe this is the first time I go into a fixture against Liverpool highly confident. I think we might beat Liverpool this time. Just maybe 1-0 something or 2-1. I don't. Liverpool sort of. I watched Brentford second half, and like Ahmed said, they won 3-0, but they labored a bit to score those goals. But Brentford, being Brentford, had collapsed eventually. So I think Liverpool. I don't know. I think we have the edge on Liverpool. Slight edge this time. I hope I'm not wrong.
And if Arsenal does get to actually navigate that game and move to the final, would you pitch them as favorites against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup or Capital One or EFL Cup final?
No, Chelsea will Chelsea on paper are favorites any day. But I'll tell you this: the last finals at Teta, was it the FA Cup? We went there expecting to be demolished like 4-5-0, and see what happened. So a knockout cup is anything can go on the day. Even the smallest team can shock you. So I don't. Chelsea are favorites, but we wait and see. That's if we get there.
Yeah, let's wait and see. I'm fairly confident as well that Arsenal can beat Liverpool to reach the final against Chelsea. Hopefully, by that time we'll have St. Granit Xhaka on loan to Manchester United so that he can help them out.
That is one of your best players, man.
And we will leave Martinelli to deal with N'Golo Kante as usual. He's the only one who can make N'Golo Kante eat grass for lunch.
Plus
so
KDB.
we'll leave plus KDB exactly. So
Yes.
we'll see how that goes. Let's move into the transfer speculation now. As we move away from the activity on the pitch to the latest transfer gossip you see right there, and we'll go through some of it, or rather a lot of the latest bits that are coming out of the press. Chelsea must be able to increase their offer to £33 million. If they want Barcelona's Frankie de Jong, Barcelona demanding €60 million, which is £50 million for the 24-year-old Netherlands midfielder, who Chelsea are interested in. I mean, we're not going to react to each and every line of gossip, but this is quite interesting. Do you see a need for Frankie de Jong in Chelsea's midfield?
No, I don't see a need for Frankie de Jong. We have midfielders. Good midfielders. We have actually too many midfielders. I was even surprised to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek back in the squad, after having some time out. So I don't think we need Frankie de Jong. We probably may need a striker that can play as a midfielder. We don't need Lukaku anymore. I know it's shocking for Chelsea fans to say that, but Lukaku really disappointed me. Lukaku disappointed me. He's not good enough for us. He's just not good enough for us. We need a false 9, and I think that's what will work for us.
But you have Timo Werner.
Timo Werner. No, Timo Werner has confidence issues. It's confidence issues. I think Timo Werner should remain in the squad. He adds something to us with his space. But Lukaku adds nothing. £100 million of nothing. No.
Let's hope Timo Werner's shooting can improve.
After that interview that he had.
That interview is going to cause him challenges.
Plus, he's not committed. Yes, exactly. He's not a committed guy. He wants to go back to Inter. No.
You're not happy with him, Ahmed. Well, speaking of strikers, Arsenal have lodged a £50 million offer to Fiorentina for their Serbian striker Dusan Vlahovic, 21-year-old, with Uruguayan midfielder Lucas Torreira, who's on loan right now offered as a make weight, being added to that deal as a sweetener for Fiorentina. Fiorentina president being very disappointed with the conduct of Vlahovic and his agent in that, and open to considering a very good offer. But again, it is down to the player and his agent right now to see if that deal does go through. But Arsenal in hot pursuit of that one. It's a 50-50. But the likes of Juventus and AC Milan, I'm told, also interest in that, plus a few other clubs in Europe. But we'll wait to see how that unfolds. Manchester United continue to be in
Do they have
contact
the
with.
money? Wait, Matthew,
Who's
does
that?
Arsenal have the money?
Arsenal, yeah, definitely. We the Arsenal probably has enough money to get a decent coach in besides Ralph Ragnick.
No,
Compared
I'm saying
to the
Arsenal.
likes
Does
of
Arsenal have 50 million? You guys finished all your
no,
money
no,
in the
no, no,
last
no.
transfer window. Plus
Arsenal
Wenger
Yeah,
still,
but
Arsenal
still
still paying
needs
for
money.
Wenger.
no, I'm
They're
still
still
making
paying
my
for
point.
Wenger.
Hey,
I'm still making my point. How
Okay, we
much
can
did
do
you
it in
guys? How much
installments.
did your team spend last transfer window? How much? I can't hear
it
you.
was less than Arsenal's
Yeah.
money. I can't remember, but it was less. Arsenal
Yes.
was the top dog in spending. They were the Mlodi. You might think they
Yes.
have a Saudi Arabian owner, yet they are just cronkies.
So while Manchester United is waiting to utilize Bitcoin for transfer window activity, we should be able to continue to splash out the cash as Arsenal.
Okay.
So we'll wait to see if that matures. And Manchester United, speaking of Manchester United, they continue to be in contact with Paris Saint-Germain boss Mauricio Pochettino for the manager's role. Manzi, what are your thoughts on this one here? Pochettino, is he the right guy for Manchester United come the summer?
I have concluded that there is no manager in the world who can help us. None. Zero manager in the world. Because what does Pochettino want? I don't know how guys even think about, like, he was at
The
Tottenham.
Champions League final.
He was good. He tried. But when it comes to managing, you need someone who has some proper success, and it's been very hard to fill in after you have Alex. It's been very difficult. I didn't know that succession planning was that difficult. Even for Alex, he failed to plan well, and gave us Moyes and all. But I think we need to. I don't know if you can fire players. You fire managers left, right, and center, but I don't know if we can just chase the entire squad. In that squad that we have only about 2 or 3 players that should be there. The rest of the players should all be, especially those ones whose contracts are running out, they should just be told, you guys, thank you for your services. Bye. We get a manager as a fresh start, clean slate, and try and build. Because this business of firing managers and players don't get any of the blame. It's taking us nowhere. We keep getting managers who are second best. Pochettino I don't think he will take us to the next level. We're going to remain like this for years. We're going to become the new Liverpool.
That's a damning indictment. That's a damning indictment of your team. I agree with you. In my view, there needs to be a cull of a lot of the players. You did see Cristiano Ronaldo in an interview with Sky Sports just this week mentioning he is disappointed with the attitude of a lot of the younger players there. And, even in terms of effort, he spends more time in the gym after training. You can imagine a 48-year-old player spending more time.
Those kids are not serious.
Yeah, but anyway, we wait to see what happens. In my view, I feel the United dressing room needs a manager who has a bigger ego than the players. And for me, that manager, there's only one manager who is available that can manage those players from an ego point of view, and that's Zinedine Zidane. It's unfortunate that Man United are struggling to get him, but I do believe.
I don't think he wants to come to United. I think he looks at my wife keeps saying that the United job is the poisoned chalice. Anyone who drinks that thing just dies. Any manager. So I think he looks at it and is like, do I want my career to end in tears?
like Van de Beek. Or Van de Bench, as they call him.
So You need a manager who has not over won. Okay, who has won something, but who is not willing to see their career, be thrown down the drain. Because they'll come to United, the players will throw the manager under the bus and then repeat.
Brilliant. Let's move on. Arsenal remain interested in a possible January move for Nottingham Forest unknown right back Jed Spence. This guy played against Arsenal for Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, in which they knocked out. So looking for cover at right back with a young chap. Juventus want Arsenal's. Now this one was a joke from the Mail, Sky Sports Italy via the Mail. Juventus want Arsenal's Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey to be included in any deal for Serie A Brazil midfielder Arthur Melo. I mean, for me, this one is a joke. I don't see it happening. An interesting one still from the Arsenal is that they're keen on signing Yuri Tillmans, who has 18 months left on his Leicester City deal. Even Brendan Rodgers acknowledging that the player is at a position currently where he needs to really consider his options, which is worrying for Leicester City fans. So that's interesting. United are at risk of missing out on RB Leipzig's Mali midfielder Amadou Haidara, 23-year-old, who would be available for £33 million. But Moneybags Newcastle are also interested, and that's coming in from the Mirror. Still sticking with Manchester United, Dutch midfielder Donny van der Beek, 24, my apologies, has rejected a loan move to Newcastle because of their position in the Premier League table. I don't know whether you can compare that to his position on the Man United bench table, but if it were me, I would take that move at least on loan.
Yeah, even me, if I was Van de Beek, for playing time, as in go to Newcastle, 10, 15 games left, play every game, and hope to God that you stay up. But those guys are going down. I don't see how they stay in the top.
It depends. Pun intended. I was also flabbergasted by how they appointed Eddie Howe, to get them out of the relegation battle. But for me, I feel he was not the right guy to sort them out. They needed someone to get them to the summer on a temporary basis. Sam Allardyce, they are proven guys for these jobs. Sam Allardyce gets them across the line.
That's a
Yes, summer transfer window, they bring in Eric Ten Hag and give the man £200 million to spend, and you have a team that is, But anyway, that was that. Chelsea are interested. Actually, before I move on to that Chelsea point, Kevin, I don't know whether you've noticed, but my assessment, Ajax's class of when did they make the Champions League semi-final? Was it 2018 or 19? That golden team.
I forget the season. I know that you're talking about Hakim Ziyech, Donny van de Beek.
Yes. Donny van de Beek, Hakim, Donny van de Beek. You have this Barcelona guy here who we have spoken about, Frankie de Jong. You have the defender at Juventus.
De
Ligt. Yeah, these guys seem to be struggling wherever they are. If you look at Hakim Ziyech, he's not necessarily tearing the midfield apart for Chelsea right now. The hottest midfielder in Chelsea right now is Gallagher at Crystal Palace. So he's not looking like he's tearing apart the league. De Ligt has struggled to settle in at Juventus, coinciding with their dip in form and results. We can all see what Mr. Van de Beek is going through at Manchester United. No one has warmed the bench more. Probably Phil Jones, to be honest. But he's also struggling. So what does this say about? I think they're all Dutch players actually, and their ability to adapt to other leagues that are more intense. Is it an issue of the coaches or the managers, or are we just looking at players who exceeded their expectations or cannot adapt to other systems? Because we do know that Ajax does play obviously a kind of football, that's akin to total football. Johan Cruyff, they're embedding certain traditions in that team. Kevin, what's your assessment of that? I don't know whether you also picked this up, and I'll pull Ahmed in as well.
Yeah, this what I get from this, because you see Ajax has a certain playing style akin to the Barca of old, which brought Messi, and they have a culture, certain system that they play. Now, take them out of that system, and things don't look so good. Either they don't adopt well, because when you're coach, like when Manchester United bought Donny van de Beek, I thought they were going to revolve their game around him. I thought they were going to change their whole structure to play to his strength, which they didn't do. They brought him in and said, "Look, this is how we play. Typical
Four two two
English.
two two two.
We'll have the wingers running on the side, whatever. Everyone running, physical, and the guy has failed to play football. So there's that system they play, because when they are, as a team, when they are Ajax even right now, they play well. You see in the Champions League, and they beat up on these other traditional teams. So I think it's a case of failing to adapt to these other systems that they play
Yeah.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for that assessment, Ahmed. I'm sure you agree with that. I see you nodding.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chelsea interested in signing PSG's French defender Livan Kurzawa on talks. On loan, but talks have not yet opened between the two parties. That's Fabrizio Romano. Via Twitter, Southampton in talks with Chelsea of a permanent move for Blues on loan 20-year-old Albania forward Armando Broja, as some call him. Yeah, who has impressed me quite a bit, Ahmed. I don't know what your assessment is of your loan army, especially in the ones in the Premier League, with the exception of Billy Gilmore at Norwich. I think Armando Broja and Gallagher, especially Gallagher, Leon Gallagher, have actually outperformed the expectations.
Yes, Matthew. I think Bro has impressed. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. For some reason, Southampton I think, is a good team for strikers. He's very lucky to be there. You'll find the strikers like Che Adams, who are technically not good, but they find themselves scoring. So I think Broha is also kind of lucky that he's in a team that has good ball passers. Ward-Prowse is very good on the ball. He can whip those crosses in. So I think it's good for him. I don't think he's ready yet to come to the Chelsea team where the spotlight and there's all this pressure, and you make one bad pass and all of a sudden your confidence is gone. So I think it's good for Broha. It's going to improve his profile. Gallagher, fantastic. He's probably going to be the next best thing. If he stays at Crystal Palace under Vieira, I think he will do good there. And I see Gallagher, I think, getting a better chance of coming back to the Chelsea team and perform like the likes of Mason Mount, who had their time at Derby County, and they came back and now they're doing well at Chelsea. So yeah, good for them. Good, fantastic.
Brilliant. Juventus are considering a move for Manchester United's France striker Anthony Martial, 26. This is coming from the Italian press. Manzi, this man, can you confirm that Anthony Martial is actually 26 years old? And is he a striker?
He might be 26, but he's not a striker. Strikers score goals, man. He's supposed to score many goals. Like the word striker has in its, golden boot. You're fighting for the golden boot, but I don't know. It's you can't understand it. Like you look at the names on the United payroll, and you're like, yeah, these guys are good, but when it comes to the pitch, they underperform. So he's not good. Let him go.
There we have it. And finally, Chelsea have contacted Reims in France over a potential summer deal for 19-year-old France under-20 striker Hugo Ekitike. This guy is being pursued by Newcastle as well. So he seems to be a very hot prospect. And let's see what happens right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to leave it at that for now and come to the end of our show. If you are just joining us, feel free to play back and catch up with the activity that has just gone by the past hour. Some great conversation and banter right here on the locker room on Top 6 Fan TV. If you're just joining, feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit a like button as well, and the notification bell. And I would like to extend a word of thanks to the gentlemen who have joined me on the show today. Ahmed Schultz from Chelsea, Kevin Price from the Arsenal, and Mr. Manchester United, Ole in diehard Manzi Kajina. Thank you all for joining, and we will be back together, I'm sure, very, very soon. Have a great week, and we will be in touch. Stay safe.